What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another week of building Cato Neimoidia and Lego. I've actually been really looking forward to this week because I'm going to be taking a break from the rockwork and the cloud work, which is what I've been focusing a lot on, and jumping back over to the little kind of Easter egg section that I was working on with those pipes and the little control room, as well as making that guard room / break room that I was telling you guys about a couple of weeks ago. I'm just excited for this because this is a little bit more of a technical build, a little bit more, a little bit more complex. Cloud work is fun, rock work is fun, but it's kind of the same thing over and over, and you're creating a bunch of really small things that kind of come together to create one large thing. So the end result looks cool, but while you're working on it, it doesn't look as great, if that makes sense. And so the thing I like about smaller builds, like little rooms and little caves, is you get to build small things like railings, tables, benches, battlements, small things that come together quickly and still look really cool. So this episode may not be on as grand of a scale as they usually are, but I will definitely still be doing some cool stuff. All that being said, it's time to start building. I'm going to start out the week by coming back over here to the second cliff face, and I wanted to show you guys some things that I did to this section. So when I think this came out in the episode, I think that was week 4. I had some great feedback for the cave. First of all, you guys loved the whole idea. Thought it turned out great, which is always good to hear. And then I got a little bit of feedback on the pipes. So Matt, the Brick Whiz, actually suggested maybe putting like some greebling pieces on the top to kind of give it a little bit of texture and to, show that rust as well. So I put in some 1x2, this 1x1 round tile. So let me know what you guys think of that, if you think that looks better or if you think I should just keep it flat. I kind of like it. It took some getting used to, but I think if I add some more to the backside and kind of even it out a little bit, I'll like it more. Up here on the top, I've got a little railing put in. This was actually a suggestion from Brickanics, and as soon as he suggested a railing, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of a no-brainer. You don't want to have like this giant, drop off right here at this cave entrance without some kind of like safety railing. So it's pretty simple. It's kind of reminiscent of what I used on Utapau, just those droid arms holding one of those flexible pipes. That's what allowed me to kind of bend it around there. I think it works pretty nicely. It looks pretty cool. It feels a bit plain to me, so I might experiment with putting some things on the end maybe, or just kind of spicing it up, just adding a little bit more detail. But so far, I think it looks really good. The final adjustment I made was inside the cave. You can see I raised up the light bluish gray tile one plate just because I felt like it looked weird to have the pipes running at the same height as the floor. So I actually raised them up a little bit. I think it looks much better. It makes more sense as, being pipes and that they're not part of the ground, but they're actually running through the ground. So I think overall that kind of finishes up the interior of the cave. I feel like it looks pretty complete now. I do also have a little haul for you guys. It's only one piece, but it's a lot of them. I've got over 1,400 trans clear 1x1 studs. I think so far I've got about 6,000 studs, and you can see only about that much is covered up. So I'm going to need a lot more of these, but these will definitely, keep me occupied for a while. It'll just be nice to have these, to be able to work on cloud work when I want to. What I'm going to do next is actually hop back behind the mountain, and I'm going to start working on that room that's going to be inside the cave. So that's going to kind of be like, you're going to have this cave running in this direction, and then you're going to have a doorway and a hallway going to the right, and there's going to be a little room back there. So this is where the cave is going to be located, kind of on the back end of the mock. I wanted to do like one of those cutaway sections, so it'll be like, you're cutting the cave in half and being able to look inside. It's going to be pretty small. I'm putting some 442nd troops in there just to kind of gauge like the size and see like how big the room is going to be compared to a minifigure. I'm not going to have a whole lot in here, but I still would like to, roughly know the general size. Right now I'm just tiling it off, putting down plate and tile to make it look like it's got some kind of a floor. I'm not sure yet how tall it's going to be. I don't plan on making it very tall, but I obviously want to make it taller than a minifigure. I don't want it to look too cramped and too unrealistic. All right, here's a look at the break room / guard room. I got all of the floor tiled off. I left this rim exposed around the edges just because that's where the walls are going to go. So basically we're going to have like a little cave, a little cutaway opening right here, and the wall is going to come up across here and then come down over here, basically sealing off this whole area except for this little opening. In the guard room so far I've got a couple of tables and benches and a little refrigerator. So this is a pretty simple table. I'm pretty happy with the design though. I really just kind of threw something together that looked like it would be in a break room. And then I've got a couple of benches. This is the bench, basically just some plate and tile with some 1x1 and 1x2 plates on the bottom, but I feel like they fit the aesthetic pretty nicely and get the job done. I'll probably just leave it at 2 just because I don't have a ton of space in here. Over here we've got a clone trooper grabbing a snack out of the refrigerator. You can see he's got the door open. It's actually not even hooked into the refrigerator, it's just in his hand. I just positioned his hand in a way that looked like he was opening the door. I'm really liking how this is looking so far. I do need some suggestions. I do need to fill up the room with at least probably like 1 or 2 more things. I'm thinking maybe like a TV and a little gun rack. As always, if you guys have any suggestions or things you think would be cool, go ahead and drop them down below in the comments right now. What I'm going to work on next is building up the side walls, and then right here I'm going to have a doorway with a hallway that kind of leads off into that main cave area. Probably going to have at least 1 light right here, maybe a second one over there. We'll see. I don't want to make it too bright that you can't really see what's going on in here. And just so there's no confusion, there's not going to be any clones in here. This is a break room for the Neimoidian warriors. I just don't have them out, and the 442nd were the only minifigures for the mock that I had kind of close to hand. I also got a couple more 442nd troopers decaled over the weekend, so I now have quite a few to work with, which makes me really happy. I don't think I'm halfway yet to my goal as far as like decaled figs go, but I definitely have enough decals to get me pretty close. Unfortunately, I had some footage corrupted this week. It's so frustrating when this happens just because, I had no way of controlling whether or not that happened. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And so I was going to show you how I built the walls, give you guys a better inside look in the cave before, I roofed it off and built the walls all the way up. I did install some lights. You can see I got 1 on each side. I think the yellow lights are going to look best in there, and 2 lights definitely looks better than 1. I tried doing just 1, but only 1 side of the room was illuminated and the other was kind of dark, and I figured if you're in a cave deep in a mountain, you're going to want the cave to be as well lit as possible just to make the atmosphere that much better. I am really liking the look of the little cave entrance on the side here. That railing adds so much detail to that and just kind of finishes it off. I feel like it looks much more complete now, as well as raising up those pipes. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of building Cato Neimoidia. It was nice to take a break and to work on the rooms some more. Honestly, I had so much fun with the rooms that I'm actually starting to plan more for other areas of the rockwork, just to break it up more and just so I can keep working on these fun little rooms and sections. I'm actually thinking about doing some kind of like cave on the other rock wall with like a little landing platform similar to Utpa with a separatist shuttle on it. We'll see. That might get kind of complex and might be kind of tough, so I may not do that, but just, food for thought, something to think about. If you guys like this episode, don't forget to leave me a big thumbs up, and of course, feel free to let me know what you thought about the episode down below in the comments. I love interacting with you all there. And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future content. But until next time, happy building.